Welcome to Unselfishly Me, a podcast all about self-love, self-care, and everything in between. I'm Jane, a personal trainer with a focus on self-love. Each week, we'll be chatting to someone about their self-love journey, how long it took, and what it took to get there. Today on Unselfishly Me, we are talking to Jo Hill. She's a Durban girl and she talks about all things health and fitness, but in a fun way, and she is so relatable because she has a sweet tooth like me. We met a few years ago through another friend, and I've been following her journey ever since, and she's just gone from strength to strength in the health and fitness industry. And I've just loved watching her Facebook and Instagram pages and what she shares, and she's just so real and raw and authentic, and she is so cute that I just love watching her on her stories and seeing what she's up to, and I think that a lot of you will relate to her as well. So I'm really excited that she made some time to come and see me today, and yeah, we just had such an amazing chat, so I can't wait for you to hear this episode. So welcome to Jo. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, my name is Jo. I'm 31. I'm from Durban. I am a remedial teacher by profession, but health and fitness is my life and baking is my passion.
So what does self-love mean to you?
Gosh, this is quite a tough question. Well, I always used to think that self-love meant loving yourself. I've battled with self-esteem issues since I was a child, so I thought that loving yourself was linked to vanity and ego. But I've since learned that it's so much more than that. It's accepting yourself as who you are, flaws and all, and appreciating yourself on the good days as well as the bad.
So true. It literally is exactly that. So what has your self-love journey looked like?
Well, as I said, I grew up incredibly insecure and with very low self-esteem. I was extremely shy and I just never felt good enough. This led to terrible relationship choices and I was the ultimate people pleaser. There's nothing wrong with being a people pleaser at all, don't get me wrong, but when it takes away from who you are as a person, then I think it becomes a problem. I never thought I'd be able to look in the mirror and tell myself that I was beautiful, or I would like the reflection looking back at me. I figured that was self-love. If I was doing well, if I had lost a bit of weight, or had mastered something in the gym, for example, I would always reward myself with acts of self-love. It's wrong, but it's what I did for so long. If the opposite happened, then I would beat myself up about it. I just realized that something had to change. It was literally like a flick of a switch. I needed to work on getting mentally fit and change the way I see myself before I could get physically fit or even try and embark on a fitness or a weight loss journey. I realized that life is a marathon and it's not a sprint. So you're going to have your good days and you're going to have your bad, and you need to accept yourself on the bad days. And I feel that is more important than how you feel on the good days. It's loving yourself on the bad. It's easy to love yourself when you're doing well and things are happening, but growth only happens when you start to love yourself when you aren't.
So what little self-love practices do you do each day?
Well, every day I wake up half an hour earlier than my husband. So this is at 4:45 in the morning. So I have time to myself. During that time, I read my daily devotional. Being Christian, it helps to keep me grounded and it helps me to focus on what is important in my life. I then write down my gratitude journal. I just simply write 3 things that I'm grateful for every day. Sometimes it's easy, sometimes it's really not. And I often have to dig quite deep, but most of the time it's pretty easy. And then I bake healthy treats and I try to fuel my body with healthy foods, getting creative in the kitchen. So I think my ultimate self-love will be time spent in the kitchen. On Mondays, I also end my day with an Epsom salt and lavender oil bath. It normally is something that gets me through my day and something I can look forward to.
I think that's such a good idea, especially on a Monday, because people have such a negative connotation to Mondays. So at least you know every Monday, at the end of the day, you're getting your reward.
Yes.
So working with special needs kids, what have you learned from them and what do you love about it?
Gosh, I think I've learned so much more from them than they have ever learned from me. I actually work at a mainstream school, so I help any children that are battling with certain learning areas, namely reading, literacy, or maths. So take reading, for example. If you're struggling to read, you don't want to do it. You won't want to do it. It's like anything in life. If it's hard, you'll always put it off or you'll always opt out. But these kids are honestly resilient. They still show up every day despite reading being hard for them. They try. And despite not wanting to do it, they still try. And eventually they get it. And it's so amazing to see. It's like we as adults, we believe in them more than they believe in themselves. And I often think that that's similar with us. We often doubt ourselves and don't see our worth when others see it straight away. So it's amazing to work with children and just, you almost want to shake them and be like, I believe in you. Like, it's going to happen. Just try and try and try and try and try. And I often try to relate that to my own life with certain things or certain obstacles that I'm facing.
That's amazing. And they're so honest as well.
Very honest.
So how did your fitness journey begin?
Okay, well, gosh, I've actually always been fit. I can't come on here and say, like, I had this massive, remarkable change and I weighed like 600 pounds and, all of a sudden I lost weight by finding the healthy life. I've always been fit, but at school I loved running, but I didn't have enough self-confidence to really take part in team sports. And it's only looking back that I realized why I didn't want to do netball or hockey and things like that. And it was only because I was so scared that I'd disappoint the team. So I just stuck to running and swimming and things like that. But then after school, I actually traded running for partying, believe it or not. And I put on a bunch of weight. And I decided to sign up for a few fitness classes. And the endorphin rush just trumped any night out. I've then been addicted to fitness ever since. So from running to weight training to calisthenics to powerlifting, yoga, you name it, I've done it. I'm a jack of all trades and pretty much a master of none. And that's exactly kind of what I want to be.
Yeah. I do so many different things, but it's just, I think we need to stay on top of things and stay interested in things.
Yes,
and that's
why
it's
going to be fun.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so have you been fit shamed? The golden question.
Yes. I wasn't quite sure what fit shaming was. I'd never really heard of the term. And then I actually Googled it. I'm not going to lie.
Well.
And I realized, yes, I have. It's something that I think for a long time something that bothered me for a long time, but I didn't know there was a name to it. I've been told that I was obsessed. At one time, I guess you could say that was true, but that's a whole story for another day. And I've often been made to feel guilty because I want to wake up early in the morning and go for a run, or because I enjoy my time spent at the gym. But in all honesty, exercising is a form of self-love, and the endorphins, as I said, I'm addicted to them, and it's feel good and it's happy, and it's one of my forms of self-love. And I've also come to realize that it's okay. Not everybody's going to agree with my way of life, and those opinions don't really matter. Often I feel like it's people that feel guilty, I guess, because they aren't living a healthy life, or they wish that they could live a healthier life. So I try to flip it on its head and say, well, do you want to come for a walk on the promenade? Or do you want to meet me at gym? Or come train with me? Or let's do something fun together, something active that's outdoors. And often those people that were fit shaming me then realize, wow, it's not as scary or daunting or as hectic as they thought it was, and want to take part.
It's nice that you include people, that you offer up that option for people. I think it also makes them see that you're more real. You are real. Well, I know you, so I know you're real. But it makes you, like, you could sometimes, when people look at you on Instagram and social media, they can think things are unattainable, or that person as a person is unattainable. When they meet you, they're like, oh, she's actually really normal and down to earth. So I think that's a nice way that you do it. So tell us about pull-ups and peanut butter.
Pull-ups and peanut butter is my little baby. And it's definitely, I think, the main part of my self-love routine. So basically, I just share healthy recipes, tips and tricks in the hopes of showing people that there are so many healthy alternatives out there, and following a healthy lifestyle doesn't have to be boiled chicken and steamed broccoli, that it actually can be fun. I started on Facebook, and I really just wanted to share healthy recipes that I was coming up with. Baking has been a form of therapy for me since I was little. My mom came home from work and I was in the kitchen baking, anything, she would just come and say, what happened? So then obviously I got into fitness, and baked treats and fitness don't normally go together. So I started just thinking of, let's make healthy alternatives, add protein powder to this, or let's leave the sugar out and use a banana or whatnot. So I started sharing those recipes on Facebook, and I never expected to get 1 like, 2 likes, 3 likes. It was never for likes or attention or anything like that. But the page grew quite quickly, and then I decided to become a little bit more professional, and I started a website, and then more recently an Instagram account, which I only started becoming active on last year. And now I've got my own recipe book, which I'm shooting for now this month, and then I've done a few other recipe books for somebody else and for other companies. And yeah, just wanting to show people that healthy living is attainable, it's fun, and yeah, you can have your cake and eat it.
We like to hear that.
Yes.
So when is your recipe book going to come out?
I'm hoping for what's going to be coming out for Christmas. So I start shooting this Saturday, and then the following Saturday, and then I do a lifestyle shoot the following Saturday. So I've got to rebake obviously everything that's going to be in the recipe book, and then I have a photographer coming to help me shoot. And yeah, so it's quite exciting. I'm a little bit nervous, taking a leap of faith, but growth only comes from
being uncomfortable.
Yeah, being uncomfortable.
I think it's going to be like an amazing gift for people, so just remember that. So you recently switched career paths, and you study personal training, and your husband's personal trainer.
Yes.
So what is your main focus going to be with that?
Well, I honestly wanted to just show people that leading a healthy lifestyle can be fun and easy. It's not as, hardcore or as daunting as others seem to think it can be. My focus is on nutrition, and then Sheldon, who's my husband, his focus is on the training side of things. So we actually teamed up together, and he focuses more on training and I focus more on nutrition. And I just try, obviously it's quite a balance between the two. You can't do one without the other. So we just try hand in hand to help people find a way of life that they love. So we don't believe in quick fixes. As I said earlier, it's a marathon, not a sprint. So we want to teach people lifelong lessons, whether it be with regards to nutrition or training. They must be able to do whatever we are teaching them for the rest of their life. So we try individualize it, find out what that person loves to do. Somebody might say, you must run, Joe, and I really don't like running. So you don't have to run. Move your body. Go for a walk, steps. Those are, just get active. Just get moving. That's basically it.
And you guys are launching a challenge, hey?
Yes, we launched a challenge at the beginning of this month. We are in the 3rd week already, and it's going really well. He, as I said, he's doing all the training side. I'm doing the nutrition, but we will bounce ideas off each other, because obviously I'm a girl and he's a guy, and we have men and women both in the challenge. So often he'll ask my opinion on certain things, or he'll get me to do a different workout, and I'll say no, I think you need to change it and try this. Also, there's so many different fitness levels. So I've realized, something that I've learned is that not everybody's going to be able to do, let's say, a squat in the squat rack. You need to start from basics and build your way up, and that's basically what we're wanting to do.
I think it's important, and it's such a nice way of individualizing things for people as well. So what do you want women out there to know about dieting and healthy eating?
Well, I want them to know that healthy looks different on everyone. What we see on Instagram, and I think I said this to you a while ago, or a few weeks last week, what we see on Instagram isn't always healthy. I'll be honest, I'm guilty of it. I find myself often Sunday afternoon, bored, scrolling through the gram, comparing myself to every second girl, half naked girl that's in a bikini, and thinking, why don't I look like that? But often what they are doing to look like that is not healthy. They're going to extremes, maybe whether it be taking substances that aren't good for your body, or they are dieting with on very low calories, and they are training 3 or 4 times a day. They aren't going to look like that all the time, and we are wanting to look like that all the time. So I'm kind of just wanting to show people what is real, and that I would rather somebody, or I rather for myself, look the same 365 days of the year than look great for one night. So I just want to show people that don't compare yourself to others. Everyone is healthy in a different way. And also, as I said earlier, I want everybody to know that you can have your cake and eat it, that you don't have to live off egg whites and oats. I mean, I love that, but you don't have to. You can have a cake. If you're craving something, let's figure out a fun way to have it. I also often try and show a little like diet hacks almost, and I look at the nutritional information on like a chocolate that's labeled as, sugar-free, dairy-free, whatnot, and it's actually higher in calorie than, say, a bar one, for example. You can eat the bar one without feeling guilty. I just want to like debunk the way that, or the myths that are out there. If you eat this, if you eat that, you're going to get fat. You can eat certain foods will cause weight gain, things like that. At the end of the day, it's going to be a calorie deficit. So there's no such thing as good and bad food. And I just kind of want to help more and more people to see that.
Yeah, I think I love that when you do it in your stories, and you'll be like, would you rather eat this sugar-free one? Or would you rather have this arrow?
Yes.
I'm like, the arrow.
And it's a lot cheaper as well. Yeah. You end up buying like 5 for what you'd pay for one.
And I think also the ingredients are actually better in the actual chocolate than having all that other stuff you can't actually pronounce.
And you feel so bloated afterwards, and you wonder, why am I feeling bloated? And it's because you're having all these artificial stuff that your body often just doesn't recognize and doesn't know how to digest.
Yeah, no, it's gross. So is there anything else that you'd like people to know about you?
Oh, gosh. A lot of my followers do know that I do suffer with depression and anxiety. I'm very open about it because I want to help others to almost like break the stigma that is attached to having those mental health, or, those disorders. I don't want to call them mental to make people think that I'm like crazy or anything, because it's not. It's a normal thing. As I was actually just chatting with Jane, and I was diagnosed with depression in 2012. It's a genetic thing on my side. My body doesn't secrete enough serotonin, so I take medication just to increase my serotonin levels. It's not like a strong medication, and I used to really, really be against it. I really didn't want to be on medication. I thought that it was a sign of weakness, in all honesty. So I'd feel better and I'd feel normal, and then I'd stop my meds, and then I'd start to feel, a bit down or quite negative and beat myself up about everything. And then I'll take some of my meds again. And eventually, when I was at the doctor, he's like, "Joe, why are you trying to be a fighter? What are you trying to prove?" And he actually said to me, if you were diabetic, you'd take insulin, and no, you wouldn't think twice about it. So if you struggled to see, you'd wear glasses, and now you just have a hormonal imbalance, and now we're just trying to fix it. So as soon as I understood that maybe it was almost a bit more than me, because a lot of people can say, just be positive, just think positive thoughts, and that is very true, and I definitely think there are ways of coping. But unfortunately, I think in my case with the depression anyway, I do have to, it's a hormonal thing, so it's a little bit bigger than me, so I do have to take medication for that. But more recently, I was diagnosed with generalized anxiety disorder, and I do believe that you can follow a more herbal or holistic and way of dealing with that through meditation, yoga, things like that really did help. There's certain phases though that I've had medication has been necessary, and I'll be honest, at the moment I do feel like I'm weak because I'm medicating myself just to cope with certain things. But I just also hope that people understand that if that is you and you are needing to take medication to cope, then it's not the be all and it's not like the end of the world. You go through different phases in your life, and often you just need certain things to help you cope. I actually put a story up on my Instagram yesterday of myself watching Friends, because I've been feeling quite anxious lately. I think it's the school holidays are almost ending, and Friends, it sounds ridiculous, but Friends is something that I have on in the background all the time. I'm not always watching it, but it just helps to calm me down. I don't know what it is, and I put it on my story and I said, is this weird that whenever I'm feeling anxious, I just put Friends on and I kind of feel okay? And so many people commented and was like, oh my gosh, that's me, oh my gosh, that's me. And one of my friends friends in Joburg, Sam, commented and she said a study was actually done that linked
No
friends.
way.
Yeah. She said it's something to do with the relationships in the series, that they're strong characters and that they always deal with a certain issue.
Yes.
And they overcome it in those 20 minutes of the episode. And she's like, there's actually a science behind it. So, yeah, that's my little...
so special. I wonder if they all know that their
I
show
know.
is helping all these people.
I know.
But I think also, there's so many people that are going through anxiety and depression, and there's such a stigma around it that the more people talk about it.
Yes.
The
And you
more...
realize it's okay.
Yes.
And what I've learned is that everybody is fighting a battle that we know nothing about. So often, as I said earlier, you go on Instagram or Facebook or whatever it is and you're scrolling through everybody's perfect lives. It's not. It's the highlight reel. People are only showing you what they want you to see. They are only showing you, take a selfie, for example. Behind every one selfie, there must be about 39 different other selfies that didn't quite cut it. So everybody's only showing you what they think is all right and that they are happy with. So I'll compare my life to this person, but that person could actually be struggling behind closed doors. And I think the more that we let people know that if you are struggling, it's okay, talk about it. You can build a community of people that will help to pick you up, because often all you need is a random message from somebody to just say you're doing a good job, or just I'm thinking of you, or you aren't alone. Just yesterday I sent my friend a random message exactly like that, and she said, wow, Jo, that it was amazing. And I actually felt better than I think I actually made her feel, because you actually just spreading a bit of love.
It's like when you give a gift, you prefer giving than receiving.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's exactly why I actually started this pocket presents.
Yes, tell us about that.
Oh, so pocket presents was exactly that. I have this little thing called Pull-Ups and Peanut Butter Pocket Presents, and basically it's like adult pen pals. So you buy a gift for somebody to the value of 250 Rand. That's anything health and fitness related. And you send it to a random stranger. So I pair people up all over South Africa, and everybody has been so creative. So I pair you up with Susie, and you get to know Susie. So then I'll post like little questions that you can ask Susie, like, what is your favorite color? And then you realize that you've actually got so much in common with Susie. And then you go, and Susie's got a cat, for example. So my cat, Brooklyn, has gotten toys, toys galore. Sheldon's been sent gifts. It's amazing. So they actually get to know people.
Yeah.
And then you exchange a gift to the value of 250 Rand, and then you obviously get one in return. And I think it also started because often I'll get sent stuff by companies, and it's awesome. There's nothing better than going.
But then you end up with a lot of stuff.
And I also feel guilty because like every day I'll be going onto my story and like, look what I got, and I feel bad because it's really made me feel better at the end of the day, coming home to a surprise package. And I was like, I want other people to feel how exciting it is when you get home and you have this surprise thing, you don't know what's in it, and it's like made for you. So that's currently what's going on in the Pull-Ups and Peanut Butter world.
So if people want to get involved with that, do they just send you a DM? Or?
Yeah, they just send me a DM, and then I add you with your email address and your name, and then we'll be doing November. And then obviously like the Secret Santa one is I'm very excited about. So that'll be for December. And then I send out emails, and I'll obviously have all your details, and then who you're buying for, who is buying for you. And then that goes out on like the 25th of the month.
Awesome. So where can people connect with you on social media?
Well, you can find me on Facebook and Instagram under Pull-Ups and Peanut Butter, or you can go onto my website. It's www.pullupsandpeanutbutter.co.za, and you can even sign up to my newsletter. I send a newsletter every month with just like a random ramble, something about health and fitness normally, and you can find all my recipes on there too.
Amazing. Thank you, Jo. I'm going to make you pull a card. So we've got the Gabby Bernstein Universe Has Your Back cards, and I'm starting to remember to ask people to do this. But it's so funny because I'm just pulling them out, and when I did my spiritual life coaching course, they always said whatever cards fall or when you're shuffling them fly out the deck, or weird things, like if one is by itself, you must take note of those as well. So say you decided to pick one card, but then another one fell out, that means you must read both. Okay. And how funny that we were just talking about depression, anxiety and stuff, and it was facing the wrong way in the deck. So it says, I witness the darkness and call on the light with my prayer. Thank you, universe, for guiding me to perceive this fear through the eyes of the teacher of love.
Oh my word.
we're talking about the darkness, and then we're talking to Joe, who's a teacher, and we're talking about self-love, and we were just discussing something off microphone about fear.
Yes.
So it was quite apt, so we'll keep that one out.
I need a photo of that.
Yeah, so now we'll make her...
Oh gosh, okay.
She's going to choose, you can spread them out over you.
Okay.
She's going to choose a little universe card.
I surrender to a power greater than me. Oh my word.
Well, we can't tell you what we were talking about, but you'll hear about it in the next few months. But like, how apt!
Oh my word!
Ooh.
That was freaky. I need to find this screensaver.
Amazing. So thank you, Joe, for coming and chatting to us, and I will see you guys next week. Thanks for listening to Unselfishly Me. Follow us on Instagram at unselfishlyme and check out our website www.unselfishlyme.com.